morning, everybody. It's Get Your Paint On. It's Thursday morning. Get your paint on. We're gonna paint some miniatures on Get Your Paint On. It's Thursday. Get your paint on. Paint on. How's that?
Damn.
Damn, son. I say, damn, boy. What the hell? God damn it.
What are we painting today?
Hi, everybody. It's Thursday morning. It's Get Your Paint On. I am your host, Dallas, and with me today is Mr. John Swankles.
Well, hello, everybody.
Well, hello, John. Today, you know what? It's we just got back from Adepticon, which was dope, and we'll talk about how dope.
Well,
Adepticon
you did.
was.
I didn't get to go.
Well, I meant the royal we, as in Privateer Press, as a universal construct of self-imaginary equalness.
That made no sense.
Zero sense. I meant the royal we, Privateer Press, because we're all a team. We're all part of the ship, part of the crew.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. And so I was just like, you know what? I just want to paint something fun. And I had a game of Company of Iron at Adepticon, which was super awesome, which I will talk about, I'm sure. And there was a post on Facebook asking about the difference between narrative Company of Iron and competitive Company of Iron to some extent. And I had pointed out that, sometimes, it's cool to have a narrative. Well, it's always cool to have the narrative. It's always cool to have the story version of your Company of Iron Force. But sometimes you want to add something in there to have like a little bit of like synergy or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've been planning for a while to add this little guy to my Filthy Five. So I think so he adds some synergy. It's the Master Gunner, Trencher Master Gunner.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to help out multiple of my Company of Iron Filthy Five choices. And so from a synergy gameplay point of view, this guy is less narrative, but then I will create some narrative around him as we progress on his paint job today. How's that
I like
sound?
it. I like where your head's at.
Yeah. So sometimes it's good to have synergy and, then you tell like a little story of like why this guy exists, but and I like the model. So he fits all my requirements. I like the model. I think he's super cool. He fits in my Company of Iron Force. He fits in the Filthy Five. And he had synergy. So like
Boom.
just all the shapes fitting together.
And of course, already we've got Patrick saying, how did the Steel Creel do against at Adepticon versus Mr. James Craig?
I played James Craig in a game of Company of Iron. He challenged me. And at first it was just like, hey, Dallas, I would like to play a game with you. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, man, let's play a game together. And then it became, hey, Dallas,
I'm going to own you.
I'm going to challenge you. And this is for all the cookies in the world. Unfortunately, I got 0 cookies. I did get a chocolate cake shake at Adepticon, but that's a different story altogether. But
A chocolate cake shake.
yeah, there's restaurant Portillo's. They make hot dogs and they make a thing called the chocolate cake shake, where they actually bake a cake and put frosting on it, and then they slice the cake up and they put it inside a cup, and then they put ice cream in it and blend it up. Not even joking.
They can't see my face right now,
But your face is like,
but yes, please.
you want that in your mouth, faux real. Anyways, I did not take the Steel Creel. I took the Filthy Five for the what was called the World Heavyweight Championship of Company of Iron, which I do not think is actually accurate.
It's not a thing. There's no competitive league to it at all.
No. It was just for fun. We were just having fun playing a game, enjoying each other's company and telling like a little story. My doggo, by the way, was a boss in that game and survived like 3 rounds of Hammer Dwarfs just beating the snot out of that poor dog. And that dog stood strong and held him off while the rest of the Filthy Five was able to fulfill their mission.
He is the bestest of boys.
He was literally the bestest of boys in that game because he was utterly he killed a Hammer Dwarf.
What?
Like the dog was just like, there's like 4 Hammer Dwarfs on him, all like hitting him with their like super sledgy hammers. And the dog just turned around, bit one and killed it. It was amazing.
Super sledgy hammers.
Super sledgy hammers. I call them what I want. But I think now that I think I really need to switch to the steel creel. Oz has been really hounding me about not playing the steel creel, so I think it's time to bust out the steel creel.
Is that pure Gravedigger denim or cold black mixed, or what do you got going on?
That is Gravedigger denim mixed with a little bit of mixing medium, and I just made a wash to go over top of the coat area. Works really good. And I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll add some shading here in a few seconds with some cold black. This is Idrian Flesh. I'm going to paint this over the top of the leather bits and bobs, just to give my leather bits and bobs a layer of brown before I start putting a wash on that. Now this is Filthy 5. Like, this is my company of Iron Army. I'm not painting this up to like any sort of competition level. I'm not painting this up to studio level. I'm painting this up for table. And the best way to describe tabletop is done. Right?
Your favorite color is done.
Totally, my favorite color is totally done.
Well, when it comes to, painting for the table anyway.
Even painting for competition, man. Oh, my favorite color is done. Man, there's nothing better than finishing a competition model and being like, I'm done.
Speaking of competition models, that Sorsha bust was dope.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like I really pushed myself out of some new areas on that. And got a lot of really good feedback. If people haven't seen that Sorsha bust, I think it's super good. I think it's the best bust we've made.
I don't disagree. I really like that model.
She's really, really nice, and I got a lot of feedback. I actually asked for a lot of feedback at Adepticon when we showed her off for the first time about what people thought about her and like what like what they like about the bust and like just kind of the philosophy of bust making and stuff like that. If you haven't seen her, she's available right now.
All of the busts are currently available.
All of them.
Yep.
Oh, John, did you just put them all up? Like you just,
We kept them up because there was an addition to the rules for the P3 Grandmaster.
It is true. Ron and I added a category into the P3 Grandmaster called Bust, simply. And so now busts have their own. I said Ron and I added a bust category to the P3 Grandmaster for both Lock and Load and Gen Con. So now when you paint your Scar, Nemo, Borka, or Sorsha bust, they will have their own category in the P3 Grandmaster. So you have a chance to win a boatload of monies. It's not really a boatload.
It's a pretty good amount, though.
It's a really good prize. It's actually one of the better prizes for miniature painting competitions. But yeah, you should go get yourself one of the P3 busts, paint it up, bring it to Grandmaster, and show it to me, and let me give you prizes. I want to give you prizes. I just want to give everybody prizes. But that's not how it works.
So that information has been uploaded on the website.
What?
Which I will put a link here in just a moment. P3 Grandmaster.
When you see me stop painting, what I'm actually doing is I'm looking over. I got Shasper Pennyworth, one of my Filthy 5 next to me, and I'm actually looking at him, trying to remember how I painted certain elements on the Filthy 5, because I'm like, I don't remember. It's been a while since I actually painted one of these guys, so sometimes you just need a refresher.
But needless to say, since we added busts as a category, we can't really, take them off the website. We've got to make them available. Some of them are still limited, so if they sell out, we might be able to make more. It's always iffy. So
I'm going to
if
tell you
there's
right
one
now.
you really want, get it.
Yeah, you need to be getting these. They're limited. I will say at Adepticon, we had 6 scars, I think.
They gone.
They gone. We had 12 Borkas. They gone. And we almost sold out of the sources we bought. So
Damn. Nick had a question on, is the mixing medium more for washes and glazes, or would you also use it when base coating?
That's a really good question. Depends on what you're doing. So the mixing medium really, what mixing medium does is it makes your paint more translucent without losing body. So what it's doing is basically just adding a medium, hence the name mixing medium, uh, and reducing the number of paint pigment particles that you see. So it makes it more translucent. I like using it for a wash, so I put that and water and mix it together, and I make my wash. Makes it more translucent, but also maintains body. You can for certain applications, I would guess. I haven't really experimented with it. I don't think there's a reason to have a translucent base coat because you want a nice opaque paint base coat. I would probably keep the medium out of the base coats. Yeah.
Makes sense to me. But then again, that's why you get paid the big bucks.
The ultra mega big bucks.
Ultra mega hyper bucks.
Yeah, you should see the car I drive. It shows my big bucking.
And then Falcon Punch Drunk asks, "Are you going to paint the Rocket Rider anytime soon?"
I painted the Rocket Rider all weekend.
All weekend.
All weekend, I painted that Rocket Rider. I mean, I guess I could bring her on sometime closer to a show.
Well, there's also the fact that, like as we get closer to the release of the Crucible Guard, I'm sure we'll do stuff with that.
Yeah. I definitely painted the Rocket Rider all weekend. I can post pictures, I guess. That'd be cool, right?
Absolutely.
Of what I accomplished. I didn't get a lot done on her. I got her skin, her hair, and some of her clothing done. I haven't quite nailed down exactly how I'm going to approach her armor. I don't know if I want to make her match my Prospero or if I want to do her as a unique piece on her own. I'm being a little wishy-washy on that one. Learning a lot from that model though too. I think what I did to that model has made me want to do a video about some of the stuff I did on that model. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So like I learned a lot. There's
Pictures, yes. Insider, perhaps.
Insider,
with the things
perhaps?
you learned.
Or a video.
Either
Like,
one.
not necessarily the video with her, but the lessons I learned on her translate to a video. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to
Absolutely.
say? Okay, just making sure.
So
not losing my
couple of follow-up questions to some of the other stuff is, so Jeff says, what about using mixing medium for translucency in bases when you're going over zenithal priming?
Sure, that can work. Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
And then Alex says, are you going to sculpt a treat for the doggo? Maybe a new ball or milk bone because of how good he did.
You know what? I'm going to give him the head of a hammer dwarf. That's what I'm going to do. That's what he earned. That's a heck of a chew toy, right?
That is dark.
Look, that doggo ate a hammer dwarf. That doggo ate a hammer dwarf.
Did he eat him or just maul him a bunch?
Okay, he mauled him, but then when the battle was over,
The Filthy Five lets Sergeant McNamara just eat people.
sure, why not? They're filthy.
Damn, son.
Look, are you gonna walk over? You see a dog over there like munching on a dwarf head? You gonna take that dwarf head away from that doggo?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. You're gonna be like, I want to keep my fingers.
I want to keep my me. I think I'll leave that dog in his head alone.
It's like, I guess he can have it. Sorry, James, if you're watching. I totally hate your dwarf's noggin. I didn't. Sergeant Trevor McNamara did.
Matthew asks if you're going to paint Pagani's beard on this guy.
Pagani's beard. This guy can't have a beard. He's got a chin strap. If he has a beard, it's very chafy right now because he has a leather strap across his chin. So I'm sure that the sweat like really gets to him if he's got a beard. Okay, that wasn't dark. That was just gross.
Yeah, I was like, wow, getting into the logistics of beards.
Look, man, you know you're a bearded dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot to think about.
Bearded dude in gaming? No.
I had to get rid of my beard. It was just too much work. Well, I just keep my little goat. It's too much work to maintain full beard. You gotta oil it. You gotta brush it. It's like having a pet that lives on your face.
It's just like any other hair on your head. It's really not that much work. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Not the worst.
Took care of that. It's like, I don't need none of that. Got rid of that. Bzz. All right, speaking of his little chin strap, I should paint that chin strap. Needs to be brown. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
What kind of brown are you using? Or are you still just using the Idrian flesh?
Good. Oh, Adrian Flesh. Just paint that in there. Just paint that in there. I'm not even giving this full coats. I'm like, you know what's going to take care of that? The wash. All comes out in the wash. There we go. I should paint his helmet. His helmet needs to be deathless metal. A little deathless metal helmet.
And because we can't go an episode without somebody asking, because it is kind of a neat trick if you're trying to paint for camera, Dallas has his miniature on top of a primer can with double-sided tape, and then there's some ticky-tack underneath it, and it is on top of a desk microphone stand.
Yep.
But that's purely for the camera. He does not use it. He does not use the microphone stand while he's painting normally.
Yeah, I definitely use the little, I'll pop it off. I use that. That's a nice grip. And then there's the ticky tack, and you just stick it on there. All this does for me is keeps me in focus so John or Tony doesn't yell at me for going off the...
So we don't lose our freaking minds.
Yeah, because I will meander, and I'll be painting, like those first 10 episodes, oh my God, it was just nothing but me doing this.
It's like, get back on camera.
So I have to control myself somehow, and this is apparently the only way I can. Heartfire is what I need.
Alec asks, hey Dallas, when do we get another cooking video? Pancakes were awesome. Brisket next time, question mark. For brisket, we're going to have to go with Pagani. That's not that you can't do a brisket, but like I feel that after he entered brisket in the dessert competition during
It's
the
true.
holiday party, that if we're going to do a brisket video, it has to be Pagani.
Most of the time, if you're getting brisket, that's a team effort between me and Pagani.
Faces and bases.
We definitely cook some brisket together. We share the grilling, manning the grill is a two-man job sometimes. I have an idea for episode 100.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't think it's cooking though, but it's, well, what do you mean I don't think it's, I have an idea, but I don't think it's, so I do know. Or I don't. Who knows? Who knows anymore? I haven't slept.
Since Adepticon.
Yeah, I'm really still a little fatigued from Adepticone. Was it Heartfire? I feel like it wasn't Heartfire. That doesn't seem right.
For which part?
For the orange, I think it was Kato Red Highlight.
I think it was just, yeah.
Verse, back it up. That's all right. It's the fun of paints. Painting miniatures, fine art of correcting one's mistakes. Let's put that Kato Red highlight over top of that. That's fantastic. That's the color I wanted. Boop. That's the color. Why was I painting Heartfire? I'm a loose cannon, that's why.
Did you have something that had fire going on?
Well, I looked down and like I have my little Filthy Five cheat sheet, and I just see a recipe.
Was it used for part of the highlight or
I
part of
don't.
the edging?
I'm not even sure anymore.
I guess you'll just have to go back and watch old videos.
I'm gonna have to watch old videos of myself to figure out what I've done.
The one where you're painting the trench buster should cover you.
Oh yeah, because that guy got done pretty quick in the video, didn't he? There we go. Look at that. That's already looking like the Filthy Five. Boop boop boop.
Ding ding ding. Brush care.
Bing bing bing. Let's put some shadow on the coat. So I'm gonna pull out some coal black.
So Nick Barbian asks, when you're painting white, do you find it easier to start with the highlight as a base coat and then shade, or because he runs into consistency issue when trying to do highlights? I wonder if it might just be easier to start at the higher and shade down.
That's probably a very nice trick to give a go. We definitely paint the Crix army like that. We start with a highlight color, and then we just do a bunch of shades to create the Crix color scheme. You can actually find that recipe in the Crix Mark II book. Painting white.
It also kind of depends what you're trying to achieve, right?
Yeah,
'Cause,
I'm trying to work my head around like how to approach this.
Well, because the castigator that's sitting over here that I was using to do the color test for the camera, the one that you painted with the first 10 episodes of Formula P3 Presents, you totally went the mid-tone, then
Right.
shade, then highlight.
Like I would not want to put. I don't think that that's a good way to go for white. You want a light, off white to start your whites, because white shouldn't be white. There's no
So like Menoth white base.
men off white base, frostbite, marl white
love
mixed with
frostbite.
underbelly blue. Like you want something that's an off white to build from. Pure white should only be the very, very minimal highlights when you're painting white. You can try to go the other way. I just don't think I would like the results personally. I'd rather build in those colors. Like that's what it's all about. It's about
Yeah,
a lot of colors.
Every time I've seen it, you've always started with a mid-tone and
Yeah.
then shaded, then highlighted, and then maybe some edge lining with black or something like that.
And it could even be higher than a mid tone. Like it could be, like two or a step below your pure marl white.
Sure, and I didn't mean specifically mid-tone. I just meant somewhere
Yeah,
along the
yeah.
gradient in the middle.
And you just kind of get that in there first because you want that color in there first. You want the primary color to not be white.
Alex says, "Oh, by the way, Dallas, the suggestion of using a beard hair for Victoria Pendrick's bowstring worked awesome. Thanks, buddy.
There you go. Boom.
I don't know if that's neat or gross.
Potato.
It's a little gross.
It's a little on column A, a little column B, right? So just coal black.
Nick Barbian says he uses Hammerfall khaki, which I have definitely used as a starter color for white / off-white.
Sure. Hammerfall khaki is a really good color for that. There's lots of really good colors. It all depends on the type of white you want. There's more than one type of white. You want a cool white. You want a warm white. You want a, it's all up to you. So there's choices and options to be had. Shuka. Scoring red. Where's my scoring red at?
Oh.
Yo, dog. Scoring red. We're going to put some scoring red on the shoulder pads now. This will be kind of a shade.
Do rush blending in action.
Yeah, scoring red helps with this orange quite a bit, especially after I put the umbral lumber in there here in a little bit. It's going to bring that orange to life. Basically, I'm just going to try to wake it up inside.
I love that sculpt.
Yeah, this little Master Gunner is dope. I think he's cool looking.
He also just looks like he's ready to get stuff done. I almost took this to PG-13/R.
Whoa. He's going to get crazy with the cheese whiz. Or not.
He's about to blunder bust some fools.
Ooh. Okay, I need a name for this guy. I don't have a name for him yet. I kind of like Buster.
Yeah, but then people will get confused like, wait, he's Buster? I thought the Trench Buster was the Buster.
Nah, Trench Buster is Bailey Backbreaker Brunswick. A little bit of that red in there. A little bit of that red in there. Miss the edge of this armor plate. Oopsie doodles. Okay, so name for this guy. He's the Master Gunner. So I don't think he should be a sergeant. I think he should be maybe Gunnery Master. All right, so Gunnery Master.
Gearbox Grind says to name him after Vankman.
Peter?
Mm-hmm. And Alec asks, do you ever drill out the barrels of the rifles or cannons to add to, the feel, the depth?
100% yes. Not usually on these big old blunderbusses. And a lot of our sculpts have a nice deep
Bezel.
hole in the muzzle. So I don't really worry about it. But if it's definitely flat, I definitely drill those out.
A couple more name suggestions. Scatterbrain Samson.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Gunnery Master Beck.
Okay, feeling it.
Gunnery Master Chuck Dogwood, which is a no. Chuck
No,
Dogwood
Chuck
is already
Dogwood
taken.
is not a trencher that we know of. Dun, dun, dun! Plot twist. I'm shook in my paints.
Looking for that color that'll bring things together. Oh, yeah.
Bowser's green.
Battle just green. I don't know why.
I'm gonna put some Bowser's green up on top of that right there. This is gonna be his little backpack, little bedroll. That's where he sleeps at night. That's where he rests his head.
Look at me being all on point today with the color swatches.
He lays down at night, thinks about his love.
Another
Back
name
home.
suggestion. Nitro. Nitro Samson. I'm merging two of them.
Gunnery Master Nitro Samson is not a terrible name. You know what? That's kind of sticking in my head right now. That's
Master Gunner Peter Flapjack Bakeman.
kind of like Flapjack. If I do
Nitro Flapjack.
Nitro Flapjack, if I do Flapjack, if Flapjack gets added to the Filthy Five, it's going to be Gibbs
Yeah.
because
I
he's
mean,
a cook.
And required.
Yeah. Like he is a cook. I gotta call him Flapjack.
Flapjack McGillicuddy. Because Flapjack will McGillicut a fool.
Oh my. I'm still stuck on Nitro Samson right now. So until there's something better than Nitro Samson,
Nitro Samson.
this is the way it's gonna be.
It's too good.
Gunnery Master Nitro Samson. Join the Filthy Five in AR 492.
Patrick says Bolt Vander Huge.
I kind of like Bolt. That's pretty good.
Bolt Samson.
Bolt's pretty good. I kind of like Bolt. I missed a couple little spots on these little pouches, which is fine. I'm just going to cover them up with a wash in a little bit.
Get them pouches.
I want to make sure that I get that brown in there for the wash to go over top of. Hooty hoo.
Seth asks when he runs out of ammo, does he just like throw a bunch of like nuts and bolts in there and then just fire that at fools?
I love the idea of this guy like running up and like just taking a down jack and just
Throwing
shoving
some scrap
parts
in there and just wow.
Like the was it who's the ones that build all the weapons for Signar? I can't remember the organization's name.
Oh my god. My brain just stopped.
Man, I can't. Anyways, they're like, you really shouldn't do that with this gun. And he's
Right.
like, that will tear it apart. And then they're like, why has that thing not been torn apart? And he's just like, just shoving gears and
Random battleground scrap.
because he's Nitro.
Alex says Sally Bolt Sampson because his daddy wanted him to grow up tough.
That's pretty good. Oh my god.
Loads his blunderbuss with leftover cooking utensils. Pow! Spatula scattergun.
Spatula City. Wait. That's different.
This guy's coming together really fast.
That's what Filthy Five's about. Like, that's what painting an army's about. It's just like, I'm here to get done. I'm here to get done. I might even finish him today.
Well, I
That's
mean,
what
like,
I'm doing.
we're only like halfway through the episode and you're damn near got them all blocked out.
Yeah, I'm going to put all these base coats on there. I mean, he's messy, but that's fine. I'm down.
Falcon Punch Drunk says Gunnery Sergeant Rusty Douglas.
Oh, that's good. I mean, Rusty. I mean, we're right there in that IK,
It
right?
fits right there in the Filthy Five thing. It's not quite as ubiquitous as Bolt, let's say. Though Bolt was pretty good too.
Bolt's good. Rusty's
Rusty
good.
quotes Bolt Douglas.
Rusty Bolts Douglas. That's it. We're done here. Sold. Sold. Hang on. I'm writing it in the book.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
That means it's official.
That's his official. Hang on. Let me. Well, I don't have a pen. I'm doing it with
I
this
do.
paint.
Boom. Here.
Yep.
Oh,
That was off.
that was
So in the
so sad.
so where we got here,
Rusty quotes Bolt Douglas.
Bolt Douglas. Nailed it. I'm in.
You got there.
There was still like a Lieutenant Hawkeye that never happened. That was a name that got pitched around, Hawkeye. So we have
Victoria Hawkeye Pendrake.
you know what? If that's not bad.
She's got the bow.
She's got the bow. And I could see her leading like the company, the Filthy Five, like on a mission.
Reconnaissance mission.
Yeah. They like
'Cause
hire her.
She's like the guide because she knows where everything is and, kills fools with that sword.
I might have to do that. So we got Mac McKenzie, Bailey Back Bruiser Brunwick, Shasper Pennycoin. I think I've been calling him Shasper Pennyworth.
You
He's
have.
like Pennyworth back. Dutch Raldale Connors, Colonel Dylan Weathers, and Rusty Bolt Douglas, and of course the Sergeant Trevor McNamara.
The goodest of boys.
And the bomb bots, and the gun that Mad Mac carries named Primetime. Because that's a gun worth. Holy cow. my game at Adepticon, that gun did work.
Yeah.
Oh my god, did it work. It was amazing. That gun, like, did it.
And which model was that?
The Express team. The troll for the Express team has that big old.
Yep.
I'm
That
just gonna say
Raven
big ass
Express
gun.
or whatever it's called.
It's got Thunderbolt. It's a PAL 14. That gun did work. Took some ogren off of objective.
What are you doing there? Just Thamar Black?
Yeah, the little symbol up here, the little gunnery symbol. I'm just going to Thamar Black it because everything is Thamar blacked on the. All the symbols are Thamar blacked. Okay, I still gotta paint the goggle straps brown.
Which flavor brown? The Idrian flesh again?
Still, yeah. You know what? When I'm doing armies like this, when I'm doing like really fast paint jobs, I tend to pick like one or two colors and just kind of roll with them.
Well, because that's how you maintain consistency.
Yeah, and if I need to change something for contrast sake,
Wash.
I'll do like a wash, or I'll change the glaze, or after the wash, I'll put in like a second shade color to kind of give some variation. But like it's just like, Adrian Flesh works. If I need this to stand out, I'll mix up some Umbra Lumber or something wacky.
Red Death says kills Mechanothrall, loads Mechanothrall parts into Scattergun.
Yeah, I love the idea of this guy just being like, he just shoots whatever the hell he finds, right? Like he just doesn't even care. He just shoves. In that case, the gun needs a name, right? Because this, like, I feel like the story that's being happening right now, like he has this gun. This gun should not operate this way, right? Or it should have broken, but he's able to maintain it. So he's had this gun for a long time, right? This gun is special to him.
A lot of care and maintenance.
Yeah. So the gun needs a name. That moment when everybody's like thinking about gun names now. Yep. A little cold black in them goggles. Looking good, looking good. All right, I'm gonna take some Idrian Flesh. I'm gonna take some of that Heartfire, mix that together. A little more Idrian Flesh, a little green. I'm gonna paint this little fence post.
Bloop.
Thin that down a little bit more. Make like a wash to go over top of that zenith. I don't remember if this is how I paint my fence post, but that's how this one's getting painted.
Good enough. Will it look like a fence post?
Yeah,
Boom.
especially after I wash it.
Red Death says scavenger style weapon, so bottom feeder.
Oh, that's a good name.
The busted blunder.
I like bottom feeder.
Scatter McScatter your face. Sally Sure Shot.
That's pretty good.
Blasting Betty. Booming Betsy. Steve.
Steve. Steve the scattergun.
There's part of me that likes that too much.
I like the idea of Dutch Raw Connors coming up to Rusty here and saying, "I think it's time to get Steve," and you just hear that chock.
Could call it the final word.
That's pretty good. So far, bottom feeder and final word are my top picks.
What's your gun's name? Steve.
Oh, I bumped the camera. Is it off? We still good? We're still
Yeah,
good, right?
we're good.
Okay, I just bumped it.
That's why we can't have nice things.
Well, I'm a monster. When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
The trench rat.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Oz says Scattergun Steve is a pretty good name.
Scattergun Steve. I'm still in on
Bottom feeder.
bottom feeder. And the other one. Well,
I
the one I can't remember, I really loved it.
I like brass tacks. Let's get to brass tacks.
Oh, that's good.
I just made that up.
That's pretty good.
Alec says opening argument.
Oh, rebuttal? How about rebuttal?
Rebuttal. Parlay.
That's great. Oh, parlay. Like, they're like, they want to talk, sir. You know, they're like, Rusty,
Parlay.
parlay. Rusty's, chick check.
Aramax says payback.
Payback's good. Too many good names.
Design space.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
Right?
Yep. You get Pagani put that on one of his guys' names.
Another one I just thought of. Second chances.
Second chances, that's good.
Because he's using the parts. I could do this all day.
Was it Scrap Rat?
Trench rat.
Trench Rat. I like Scrap Rat. That's pretty good. Like kind of like it's. I think we're pulling together several things there. Because he uses scrap.
I don't know if that's reverent enough.
Probably not.
Because to a certain extent, like it has to have a little bit of reverence to it, or ominousness.
Right.
That's not a word.
Where'd that
But
pin go?
no,
Did I throw that pin back to you?
no.
Oh, it's right here.
Haha.
So right now, what's the top three?
So we've got a lot of people really like Steve.
Steve. Okay.
Trench rat. You liked that one.
Trench Rat. That's pretty good. I'm writing these down
And then
actually.
bottom feeder was the other one you really liked.
Bottom feeder. That was what I like.
Riker's Iron just suggested the butler.
The Butler. I kind of like rebuttal or parlay.
Parlay is kind of fun. Riker's Iron says it's the butler because he cleans house.
Oh, that's so good. Thank you, Rikers Iron. That's pretty dope. Oh, I'm starring those two. I got my top three now. So far. The butler, because he cleans house. Ah, that's so good. I love it so much. See, this is the fun part about painting your miniatures. Is like, I love this part. I love like the little story and my little guys have to have like a reason they exist.
So speaking of story for your little guys, right after lunch, so sometime in the noon to 1 o'clock time frame, there's an insider going live that you wrote that is all about the blockhouse you made.
Oh, does that go live today?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
So ties into the whole Filthy Five thing. Real good.
All rolled up into one. Yeah. I made a blockhouse that can't be taken in company of iron.
Because structure. Well, it could be a piece of scenery.
It could be a piece. Well, that's why I
Could be
designed
an objective they're defending.
it. Well, I need to get Hungerford or Oz to help me write a scenario for that.
There's already a defend the area scenario.
Yeah, I want a special one for me.
Well, just for you.
Yeah, I'll pull my
Well, why
weight.
don't you design it?
Because I'm not a designer.
Could be.
No, trust me.
I'm told it's not very difficult.
Y'all don't want me designing stuff. I'm terrible at it. I just play test. I just get feedback.
Dracos Dragoon says Riker's Iron, but if they name him the Butler, then his sword has to be called the French Maid.
Oh, Butler and Maid. That's pretty good. Yeah. Not French Maid. I'm not rolling like that. I kind of like the
People are
Butler.
really liking Parlay Steve. Combine those two.
Combining those two is pretty good. Parlay Steve. All right, this is just by the way.
Gunnery
This,
Sergeant Rusty Bolt Douglas. And his special gun, the Butler.
the Butler. The Butler and Bottom Feeder are really standing out still.
People are like, I like Steve.
Everybody's stuck on Steve. That's amazing. Okay, I need to put some numbers on this guy. Trying to remember how I did that.
Because he's a
used
convict.
Sickly skin.
Conscripted into the Filthy Five, which has something like 12 people in it.
Hey, man.
The 5 is just a symbol, man.
That's right. The anecdotal 5.
The ambiguous 5.
See, I like to imagine that the Filthy 5 actually has like a rotating, like,
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, that makes it the best 80s cartoon ever.
right. It's like a rotating group of guys. They're all convicts. And like at first, like I imagine that this isn't the first incarnation.
Oh, no.
Right?
No.
This is like the Guardians of the Galaxy or something, right?
Yeah,
This is
these
not-
dudes die like all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
But the first group was 5 men sent on a mission, a suicide mission, and only one came back.
Colonel Dylan Weathers.
No, Weathers isn't a Filthy 5. Well, he's a Filthy 5, but he's not a conscript. Dutch Rawdale Connors.
Yes,
Came
sorry,
back.
that's the one I meant.
And the rest of them are like, sometimes people die. All right, so this guy is 2 1 3 4 1 something. So I need a number here on this guy's shoulder.
Oh, though one of my friends, speaking of, like Sergeant McNamara and, cool, dope names, one of my friends just got a new puppy.
Oh,
And its name is Bosch von Rossenberger, which is dope. Dallas got all focused. He's got to paint those numbers on.
I'm not doing a good job either. There's not much space on this shoulder pad for this. So there's going to be more ones than normal. Because ones are super easy to paint.
Sinistar 359 says, "Hey guys, I just tried two-brush blending, but noticed that the paint looks a little chalky when blending it out. What could be the cause?"
What paints are you using? If you're using P3 paints, you should not get that. 1 4 3
Is it possible, like if it's an older pot, he just needs to mix a little water in there and shake it up?
0.
Though I have pots that are like way old, like from back in like, damn, when the line first came out, and they still hold up.
You know, this is easy to draw. 7s. Let's draw a 7 in there.
Boom.
Close enough. There we go. Now he's got his little convict number. Ba-doo-boo, 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 ba-doo-boo.
Bob says paint Roman numerals next time.
Can't do Roman numerals. They're signorins. Filthy swans.
No, Filthy 5.
Filthy swans. For the motherland! Wait. Now I'm all confused.
Yeah, don't the Filthy 5 mostly go up against Gator in your
Sure.
headcanon?
I don't like it, but that's what happens. Kador is awesome.
Kador is awesome.
There's some awesome stuff coming for
I
Kador.
don't think there's any of our factions I actually dislike.
Sure.
Like the different aesthetics, like definitely appeal to me on different levels, right? And I definitely have ones that appeal to me more than others, but there's none that I dislike.
Sure.
I think the one that it's taken me the longest to get into is Circle, but that's just because like I've had other like fantasy games and stuff like that like had the wolves and stuff like that.
Hippies.
But a lot of the stuff that came out, like especially last year, I'm like, okay, I need to get some circle stuff.
I need to put a wash on the black.
Cause Loki is dope.
Or no, we'll do that last. We'll do that last. Okay. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do?
Washes, highlights.
I definitely need to do some washes.
Red Death is requesting that at some point you paint Dragos Dragadovic.
Dragos Dragodovic.
Dragadovic.
However you say his name. Double Dragon.
Dragon, son of dragon.
That model's super dope. Oh, I need to highlight his metal. That was Rulik. Rulik first. Shuka, shuka, shuka.
Digging in the paint box. Paint box.
Or was it molten bronze? Whatever.
Which one are you going with?
I'm going.
Choose wisely.
We'll go with Rulik gold. Cause I'm a loose cannon.
Rulik gold. I don't know why. Because I can.
Boop boop. Boop boop boop. Boop boop. Boop boop boop. Boop boop boop.
Sound effects make all the difference.
I 100% agree.
It's how you know the paint's going on correctly. Now you got to name the blockhouse.
Wait, did somebody say that?
Mm-hmm.
That I should name the blockhouse? Oh, I do need to name the blockhouse. Oh my gosh, I wrote an article and I didn't name the damn blockhouse.
Alex suggests the outhouse. Which would be funny because, like, if it was like, you know, like their bar.
Yeah.
Because like all the good like 80s and whatnot like action groups had like, you know, the super divey bar they all hung out
Yeah.
at.
Yeah. The tool shed.
I like it. I like it.
I'm just kind of riffing right now.
The depot.
Oh, Depot's pretty good. Whatever sticks, sticks.
Seth says the mud pit.
Mud pit's good. Digging that, digging that, digging that, digging that.
The hole.
That's actually not bad.
Right? It's not the watering hole, it's just the hole. Brush care.
Gotta swizzle the stick. I think I'm ready to just throw some washes on this guy and call it done. Maybe some final highlights.
The whoopin' shed. I don't know about that one.
The woodshed? Oh, did you say whooping or wood? I missed
Adam
it.
says the whoopin' shed. Flooded foxhole, salty spittoon,
I like the flooded foxhole. That's pretty good.
the shed, the pit.
Put a little dot of reflection up in those goggles. Let's paint the gun barrel black.
The mud bucket with 2 Ds on mud.
Oh, mud bucket's pretty good. And this guy almost looks like a trencher.
Well, if it's the mud bucket, then that means the proprietor's name is Mud with 2 Ds. Steve Mudd.
We're gonna call a blockhouse Steve.
No, the proprietor of
Oh, is
the
Steve?
mud bucket
Okay,
is
got it.
Steve Mudd. Seth says the broken bayonet. I kind of like that one too.
That's pretty good. Like it. The whooping shed.
The
So
digger's
funny.
den. I like the broken bunker.
Digger's den's not bad.
I still like mud bucket. That one just works for me.
They're just calling out.
With proprietor Stephen J. Mudd.
Now, you boys don't go getting yourself killed now.
You got a bar tab to settle.
That's right. Y'all still owe me money.
And nobody shortchanges Stephen J. Mudd lest they find out what the J stands for.
Oh,
Justice.
mud justice. No one wants mud justice.
Is that like the kind of like Justice Hungerford provides?
Yeah.
Because he's from the swamp.
Swamp justice.
Ooh, that's a good name too. Alex suggested the failed charge.
It's not bad.
I still like Mud Bucket.
Yeah, I'm kind of digging the mud bucket. It's pretty good. It's just solid.
The Thirsty Crater.
So
Yeah.
this is just Cossite Flesh Wash, and I'm just putting it over frickin' everything, basically.
That's good because we are running out of time quickly. Which wash?
Cossite Flesh Wash.
Calcite. Starts with a K. You'd think it'd be easier to find. There it is. Shapow.
Bow, ticka-dow, ticka-choo-choo-choong. This just gives me a lot of definition that I'm looking for, and then I'll do another darker wash here in a minute in like key places. This just puts a lot of color also in the blue cloak because you want some of that. You want some warmth down in some of that blue cloak area.
Okay, so my favorite names for the blockhouse watering hole, if you will, is Mud Bucket. I love it.
Yeah, it's just a solid name.
It's super good. The Last Stop, which Adam just suggested. Dig that one too.
It's always good.
And the
Very
flooded,
classic,
and the
too.
flooded foxhole. Or just the foxhole. I don't know.
Other one seems really good. Flood Foxhole does seem pretty good. I kind of like that one.
Mud Bucket is still just rings true for me. Maybe that's what I'll name mine.
I just keep thinking about SpongeBob, the chum bucket.
The Breach.
That's not bad.
It's pretty good. But that one needs just a little something like the Breach and Barrel or something like that.
Yeah.
And it can still be run by Stephen J. Mudd.
Man, I almost got a painted trencher. Like, I just gotta wait for that wash to dry, and I can put on dark wash and call it done.
Okay.
Besides
Well,
the base.
as we get ready to head out, what will the dark wash end up consisting of since we won't have time?
So I'm just gonna put Thamar Black into the Cossite Flesh Wash and just kind of put that along the
The deepest recesses.
yeah, the super deep recesses and any of the steel. Like the steel definitely wants that.
Yep.
Because that's what makes the steel what makes
Yeah.
the steel stand out. Where's my Hammerfall Caquet? Hammerfall Caquet. Oh, look at that. 1 hour, my guy is basically done. I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy.
Sandbags. No, it's not a sandbag.
Yeah, sandbag.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
One little sandbag right in front of him, blocking his path.
Something for him to kneel up against so he can so you can brace the weapon.
Sweet.
Boom.
One final wash, about 5 minutes of final touches, and this guy's done.
Yeah.
Done.
Alrighty.
That's it.
Well, we are going to head off and probably make lunch things happen because
It's lunch o'clock.
it's lunch o'clock. In the meantime, a little bit later today, about an hour or so, we'll have that insider up so folks can get some details on building and painting their blockhouse with some tips and tricks provided by yourself.
Yeah.
We've also got those links up for the revised rules for 2018 P3 Grandmaster entries for both Lock and Load and Gen Con.
Yes. Get your busts.
Win some sweet, sweet prizes, some of which include money. If I'm
Money,
not
money,
mistaken.
money, money, money,
And
money.
realistically, sometimes the best prize is just fat stacks of cash.
Oh, the best prize you can get is actually the P3 is the feedback you're going to get.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
Yeah,
But
that's
I'm
the big
saying,
thing.
Like the best kind of prize that you can be like, hey guys, look what I got, is fat stacks of cash.
Yeah, but the feedback that you're going to receive, if you just want to get better at painting, if you want to develop your skills, if you just want to pick up some new tricks and just get inspired, enter the P3 Grandmaster competition. It's going to be, you're going to get feedback from me, Brendan, Ron Cruzy. You're going to get that feedback that's going to push you and guide you to the next step in your painting path. And so that's like the big thing is like you're not really competing against other people. You're really competing against yourself, and that's really what you really want to compete against.
Oh yeah, well that's how you get better.
Yeah, beat up past you. That's who you want to beat up. Like kick that guy's butt.
All right, everybody. And again, obviously, you can join us on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 10 o'clock Pacific time in the morning.
Tuesdays
And Tuesdays is for Weekly Rumble
where you get to watch people fight.
and play games,
games.
it's dope. And
Super.
then Wednesday is usually Dev Hangout, sometimes Lore Hangout, sometimes basically just what's going on in and around Privateer Press and, your chance to hang out with some various folks.
Doug Seacat.
Doug Seacat, sometimes
Will
a Hungerford,
Hungerford.
sometimes a Pagani, sometimes some of the other Wills. There's so many of them.
There's so many wills. I can't keep track of all the
So
wills.
many Wills. And then, of course, on Thursdays, Get Your Paint On with Dallas Kemp, Brendan Roy, sometimes Danny Samuels, and, other special guests sometimes.
Filthy Five in action.
But
Hey,
until next
look
time,
over there. There's
we'll
something
see
for
you
you to
guys next
shoot
time.
with a shotgun.
Thanks for watching.
I'm going to shoot it with my shotgun. Look over there. You can see it. Bang, bang, bang. That's it. Keep talking. Just keep talking. He's giving me the sign to keep talking.